Yarat aro had auch gesehen hier gedini deles. Oje na hui jisho the mo do tin jingo ne da ne sho asaga kis horon kis nahash ne higi a here doles horoye de neban Dr. Bu Nygren sebagan hot zanno ye khanne ne kichi ashle aro shin hat so kis do sashin le KTN KGK KNN aro shin da isio higi so here doles horoye asia belgana kachile be yodel kijosa ni na sosbieyo donan tlago the neck belagana catch ya days because ishido but because bad husband see ye go the neck catch nisna hotesh neto the nebanant khaila nila the neck catch the no senegishi le peshe khase khada kis AM 660 AM 960 aro 1330 aro khata so kizration hueto chianda shi da tanabit tao shi isen sada hot end hodo belagana catchede the deals satem a question hot end again happy new year it's starting it's a few days away so I just wanted to say thank you so much. I know that the new year brings a lot of good things to think about as we continue to move on, and one of the things I also want to say is continue to safe travels. We've got a lot of our friends, our relatives, and our people that are crisscrossing the United States of America to be home, and some of them are very happy to be here. So let's continue to make sure that we watch out for one another and take care of one another, and really take this time to reflect back on what we've accomplished, you've accomplished this past year, and how can you improve on some of those that you've set aside over the past year and into the new year as well. So some of the things I think about as your president, just to name a few, has been the Housing Assistance Fund that's been a good initiative that we've produced to make sure that we help our relatives who own a home, who have a mortgage, and do what we can to really try to allocate some of those ARPA funding grants that are available so that we can assist our Navajos who have a grant or who have a mortgage as well. And then the various MOAs that we've worked on with our colleges, U of A in particular, and other universities that have been there to make sure that we provide an opportunity to give full ride scholarships to our students so that one day they can come home and not worry about the loans that are stacked against them. And that's one of the issues. When you go off and get an education, most of the time you're stuck with large amounts of loans, and the only place that you can go to get a decent job is in the big city to pay these loans as well. So through the veterinarian school and the law school MOAs that I signed with ASU and U of A, that's one of the things that it's meant to do, is bring our people home. So, and then again, those of you, speaking of that cough right there, I did catch a cold last week, but I'm feeling good this week. But make sure you watch out for one another, wash your hands, and do what you can to really look out for one another. So again, and one of the things I also think about too is as we move into the new year is just really be there for your families, really be there for one another as you continue to move ahead as well. And December 30th is National Resolution Planning Day. So those of you that want to be effective in your goals this coming year, 10% of you are not going to be successful. Only 10% of the people are successful in keeping their New Year's resolutions. But the best way to have the best chance is you sit and plan prior to New Year's and think about how you're going to get it done as well too. So, and this is something that has been going on for well over 4,000 years since the Babylonian festival, Akitu. So that's when this was kind of started. And then in 153 BC, after the name of a god named Janus, January 1st was declared by the Roman Senate as well. So since then, we've always had January 1st as the new year. Local announcements. The big one is the first annual the State of the Nation for the Navajo people. This is going to be an annual event, and it's going to be January 9th here in the Window Rock Fairgrounds. We invite each and everyone to bring out your family, your relatives, your children. If you're interested in being with us that day, come on out. We're going to make sure that we have the Navajo Nation resources there as well. There'll be food, there'll be entertainment. The vice president will give her address. The speaker of the Navajo Nation Council will give her address. I'll give my State of the Navajo Nation address, and it'll be an hour-long presentation on what we've accomplished, the full list over the past year, some of the challenges and some of the big wins that we've had over the past year, and what we look forward to accomplishing over the next year and over the next 3 years as well too. So it's I'm very results oriented as your Navajo Nation president. As you can tell, every week I like to report on accomplishments and projects that we're working on, because I don't take this position lightly. I want to make sure that whether I show up at an event or to give a talk, I want to make sure there's a commitment along with those places that I'm traveling to as well too. So again, January 9th, will start at 9 a.m. at the Window Rock Fairgrounds. So let your grandmas and your grandpas and your relatives know, and if the kids aren't in school or not back in school yet, come on out and enjoy some food and entertainment as well. And you'll also hear from my division directors directly on what they've accomplished and what they want to do as well over the next year. So it'll be a great event. This will be the first annual State of the Nation to the Navajo people. Normally, every quarter, I give a State of the Nation to the Navajo Nation Council, but I felt like on an annual basis to give a State of the Nation to the people, and that's what this is meant to be. So come on out, January 9th on a Tuesday, starting at 9 a.m., and then moving on, I think one of the things I think about too is I always report on this, is the missing Navajo people. So we have a 14-year-old Tanishana Lee, last seen in Sherbrooke on Christmas. She's 5'6", 100 pounds. If you've seen her, call Sherbrooke Police at 505-368-1350. 41-year-old Aaron Ron Stevens, last seen Monday, December 18th, Charlee, Arizona. If you've seen him, call 928-674-2111. So these missing people, I know their relatives are looking for them. 15-year-old Kalia Mary Bella Watson, last seen December 25th, 5'3", 155 pounds. Please call Crown Point District 505-786-2850. Larry. So this brings us up to another, sorry. Found Navajo people. Now we got to make sure that 34-year-old Franklin Marlin Cowboy is located and found on December 20th. So he's he's back with his family. So that's an exciting thing to know, that through this effort and through this announcement that we continue to let our people know that the people that are being located as well. And then Leon Mike Thomas has been located as well. What is happening in the world? I think one of the things is minimum wage in 22 states will get raises on January 1st. A good example is in Flagstaff. It's going to go from $16.80 to $17.40 an hour in Flagstaff. And according to some of the statistics, it's about 38 cities and communities will see this increase as well. So again, that's one of the things I want to do here on Navajo and work under the Navajo Nation Council, is have our own minimum wage law, so that regardless of where you work on Navajo, we should have a minimum wage so that people can have a reliable source of income to provide for their family, their relatives, and their loved ones as well. So this time in history, 50 years ago, the Endangered Species Act was signed into law by President Richard Nixon. This was during a time where plants and animals and species were endangered of not ever existing again, and that critical piece of legislation was signed to protect our animals, our species, and our plants. And since its signing, only about less than 1% have been added to the endangered species list. But over 100 of the species have showed a 90% recovery rate. So moving on, Navajo life lesson. One of the lessons that we want to present today is walking into the new year with the tools that have been provided with you. As a Navajo teaching, we hear stories of the hero twins and how they defeated the monsters to protect the people through their actions. They left the people with various tools, like the stir stick so they never go hungry, the gish that protects against bad dreams and other dark things, and then also the bow and arrow that protects your home as well. So let's use the tools that have been given to us and really try to utilize that and move in a direction that is going to be good for all of you. So again, that's the life lesson. Moving on to a few of the year's accomplishments. Again, as mentioned earlier, some of the accomplishments, and then in addition, we worked with our Navajo small businesses. A lot of them were hurting through COVID. 3 years of COVID, they shut down. They were open to just 25% to 50%. And then I came in the office, I reopened 100% within 2 weeks, and a lot of them were hurting. And I get a lot of phone calls and texts on how their businesses are now thriving 1 year after the Navajo Nation has been fully reopened. But in addition, I issued a business site lease relief grant as well to forgive 36 months of lease payments so that they can reinvest that back into their business, their community, so that they can expand on their services as well. So that was one of the first initiatives that we worked on. And the other initiatives is the police vehicles upgrades. There's a lot of vehicles on the road, or police vehicles that were high mileage, 200,000, 300,000. And so 22 new police units filled with technology and the latest and the greatest to really try to provide the best equipment possible for the very few police officers that we have. And they got a tremendous task to try to help our communities on a day-to-day basis. And there will be another 77 soon to arrive as well. Again, and then supplemental funding for Diné College, Navajo NTU, Navajo Prep, $5.6 million to our universities, $3 million to Navajo Prep. Again, this is just reinvestments into our community, our students, as they continue to grow and build themselves up. So these are our own facilities. So it's always exciting to work with them so that they can get some of these things done. And then Southwest Indian Contract Foundation, we did a $6 million investment in them so they can expand their capacities. So they've been working here on Navajo for well over 20 years. And for them to be able to deliver a home, 1,200 square foot home, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, kitchen, and everything in line with a water line, electric line, septic tank, drain field, fully ready to move in for $170,000. That's a tremendous feat, and I look forward to the many homes that they're going to build over the years. There's always times when you got to reinvest in yourselves, and that's what I felt like we did as a nation, to reinvest in an organization that has been here for well over 20 years, helped lots of Navajo families, and now they're going to be able to expand their capacity to build more homes for Navajo veterans and families as well. And then treatment and recovery centers. I know the Charlee Sober Living Facility opened in late October, and this is the first of its kind that I know of in Arizona and Utah. Here on the Navajo Nation, we've got 22 tribes in Arizona, 23 in New Mexico, 8 in Utah, all of them combined, and we've got one here right on Navajo land, which is something that we can be very proud of. I know that a lot of people have always promised a sober living and treatment center here on Navajo, and we were able to deliver on that within the year. So that's an excitement. It's going to serve 10 people. We look forward to opening a lot more as well. And then working with organizations like Day at a Time and nonprofit, again, really trying to believe in organizations that are already here on Navajo doing the good work, and as a nation to help support them expand their missions and really help them get things done. And they're going to provide additional treatment staff and recovery services here in the Fort Defiance area. And so those are some of the few accomplishments. But again, if you come to January 9th, we're going to provide a whole list of accomplishments over the past year. And it's a large amount of accomplishments. That's why I believe it's going to be 1 hour. But 1 hour is only going to provide the highlights. I know our divisions, they've all done a lot of good work over the past year, but the major highlights will be the only ones in the state of the nation. And then meet and greets. We had our second monthly leadership meeting, and that's one of the things I promised I'd do, is really work with our Navajo Nation Council. So we had a monthly leadership meeting. This was the second leadership meeting. The first one was held in my office, and the second one we held at the Navajo Nation Council chambers, and the next one will be in my office. And we had 13 delegates there. We had also the vice president, the vice president of Navajo Nation, Richelle, there as well too. So it was an exciting time to be there. So we talked about ARPA and different challenges and issues. Again, when it comes to leadership meeting, it's how do we come together and develop solutions, because the mission's the same, whether you're in Western Agency, Central Agency, Eastern, Fort Defiance, Northern Agency. A lot of the problems are the same problems. So as delegates and as the president of the Navajo Nation, I want to make sure that our mission is very straightforward and we're unified a lot behind some of these efforts. So it was good. It was good to see Honorable Speaker Charlee. I really enjoy her leadership and the work that she's doing with the Navajo Nation Council. Thank you, Speaker Charlee, for really being a champion to make sure that this monthly leadership meeting does happen as well. So the other thing that I also want to mention as well too is the delegates that showed up. There was delegates that were very instrumental in showing up here to make sure that we continue to work together. And they were Nathan Nota, Shauna Ann Claude, Jermaine Simonson, Brenda Jesus, Curtis Unito, Shirley Yazi, Casey Allen Johnson, Amber Crotty, Norma Begay, Shondine Parrish, Carl Slater, and Seth Damon. Again, thank you for the second leadership meeting. Also, another meet and greet was the meeting of the class of '59, the Navajo Nation Police Academy. It was an unannounced visit, and it was good to see the class because we have such a huge need for police officers, but it's very, very, very tough to become a Navajo Nation police officer. So with my presence to try to encourage them to say thank you, we look forward to many more officers and them serving as role models. I want to see a higher interest in our Navajo people wanting to become police officers, and a higher retention to completing the academy as well. And also met with Honorable Crotty as well for the victim advocacy a grant that she's really been trying to advocate for with the Utah Navajo Health System. And really, the best way I could work with them is to provide them a support letter to the United States Department of Justice, and to make sure that they can consider them to receive the grant. So because they've built the capacity over the past 2 years to 21 advocates and other services that they're providing, and for us to really help and support them, because there's a lot of families and children and mothers that really rely on them. So for them to get the funding is very critical, and it's really needed. So thank you to UNHS as well. Upcoming events, Main event is going to be the 14th annual Keshe at the Navajo Nation Museum. My division director, Mr. Shawnevan for General Services, will be the MC throughout the night. So if you want to show up, doors open at 6 o'clock and the game will begin at 7 o'clock. It's against the day animals versus the night animals. So again, it's going to be an exciting time as the new year kicks off as well. So if you want to be a part of it, be there. If you want to be a vendor, it's $60. Cash door prizes are also up for grabs as well too, and there'll be fried bread and stew that will be for sale there as well too. So again, this is your Navajo Nation president. Thank you for tuning in every week for me to report to you on what's going on a weekly basis as well. So with that being said, let's make sure that we continue to watch out for one another. And it's been a phenomenal 2023, and I look forward to seeing you next year. Okay. Next year, it's going to be a long next year, so it's going to be 7 days away. So next Thursday, tune back in, 7 o'clock, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or through Facebook Live or the radio broadcast. So again, and also check out our Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We do a little 90-second video that a lot of you do enjoy as well. So I've seen that you guys have been sharing that with your friends and your relatives, that saying, this is a quick update from the Navajo Nation president on what's getting done on a weekly basis. So, God bless, and God bless the great Navajo Nation. Hagone.
Good afternoon. My name is Shawnevan. I'm the Executive Director for the Division of General Services. I appreciate everybody tuning in this afternoon, and an awesome shout out to the President for announcing the Keshe tournament at the Navajo Nation Museum. I will be emceeing the event throughout the night. Doors open at 6 on the 31st. And we'll go up to about midnight, maybe 1 o'clock. We'll continue our shoe game efforts. But shoe game signifies the change in season, the weather. Shegonal tehido, hegonal tehinal closh. Adonda eonal tehido, jigonal tehid. Nal tlosh linigi be khatat chot ya be ke il tahn lo do in the ta hon nas na no ba da hon no e bin na go e ya ni to jinla to e li la ko hot shi ya be khata hon now ya khol jij lo. So that's kind of a brief history on what's going on with the shoe game tournament. If you'd like to know more, you're more than welcome to come out and participate and be part of a historic event that's happening every year for New Year. So this week's report from the Division of General Services, I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on, but we've been moving some huge initiatives forward on behalf of Navajo Nation government. We're a division responsible for overseeing the operations, making sure that the vehicles are operational, the buildings are occupiable, making sure that we are providing, again, Xeroxing services. I know it sounds minuscule, but it's a critical component of our operations. And then ensuring that the nation's internet technology is full operation. But a big shout out to my NNDIT team for assisting in processing a lot of payments, over $26,000 or 26,000 checks within a 2-week period from the Office of the Controller. And that's only possible with the incredible team at Navajo Nation Department of Information Technology in maintaining the critical network infrastructure. So we do appreciate that. A couple of weeks ago, in talking about government efficiency and maintaining operations for the tribal government, I was able to meet with the Assistant Secretary for Tribal Government Affairs from the U.S. Department of Transportation, Undersecretary Orlando Teller. We were able to discuss some security protocols with the local Window Rock Airport, as well as some possible funding for the additional airstrips throughout the Navajo Nation, which include Tuba City, Chinle, Shiprock, and Crown Point. Those areas the Navajo Nation does have landing strips, mainly for use by hospitals, but there is some opportunity there for us to expand and really enhance those areas for much needed air transportation services, as well as a security grant here from the Department of Homeland Security with the Window Rock Airport. So we look forward to further discussions in the upcoming new year with the Assistant Secretary on Tribal Government Affairs, Secretary Teller. We've also had some discussions with Honorable Carl Slater from the 24th Navajo Nation Council and discussing some possibilities on really promoting and encouraging the Navajo Nation to invest into our building infrastructure. It's been nearly 75 years since the Navajo Nation has invested into capital development. We're piecemealing a lot of our facilities, and we're forgetting that we have to maintain our current existing stock. So that seems to be a problem. You come to Window Rock or any of the agency offices where an office was 3 years ago is no longer there, only because we lack the adequate funding to provide maintenance services, and our maintenance money has been dwindling. But we're looking at addressing those issues head on, and we're getting creative, and we'll be looking forward to some upcoming massive infrastructure development with the support of the Navajo Nation Council and, of course, our president, Dr. Nygren. One of his initiatives is employee safety, and then getting that as a top paramount cornerstone for the government. Every day na nishiyat eho ba ha ya huin zena ju ko de kindo jo kao ya bi na si tra do bi da desk zo na it's also da bi da helo ju eri ishi jo bi de ni linsh ni le lik adi khagi because ani lingi la na this past year we've addressed a lot of the regulatory issues. We've also addressed a lot of the procurement requirements that are needed, so we're able to move forward and hopefully we'll get something here in Window Rock and the agency offices. We're looking forward to the one-stop shop concept. Also within the government efficiency, the controller, my brother, Mr. Sean McCabe, was able to meet with the auditors this past year, the past couple of months, and they've discussed options for revenue generation for the Navajo Nation. Included in that revenue generation is tax credits. So we're looking at helping the government maintain a lot of its funding for direct services by looking at tax credits that are out there for such a huge organization. Included in those tax credits could be EV, electrical vehicles. So that is one concept we're really looking forward to, saving on gas, cutting down on green gas emissions, having electric vehicles throughout the Navajo Nation as part of its fleet would really help improve efficiency and cost effectiveness of our government operations. Again, that's in line with our facilities going solar, relying on renewable energies as opposed to carbon-related emission production. So we're really looking forward and moving those initiatives forward from a Division of General Services. Coming around the new year, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. Make sure you're safe out there. Check up on your masandon hichase. Check up on them. They may just want to just see you for the new year and say yat isha away. Every time I visit my grandmother, it was always a blessing. She would always have, even though it's the most humble meal, a piece of bread, that was always heartwarming and made me feel a whole lot better for the upcoming season. So make sure you stop by, say hello to your elders, grandparents, your nollies, your mustang, your chays. Yeah, maybe they just need help bringing in a load full of arm load full of woods, and that really means a lot to them. So in the upcoming new year, don't make your New Year's resolutions so high that you can't meet them expectations, but make several small low-hanging fruit New Year's resolutions. Included in that is visiting your parents, your elders, and then being a lot happier throughout the year, and then remembering to take positivity over negativity. That is extremely important. and it promotes yourself and your well-being as well. So from a Division of General Services, I want to wish you all a happy new year on behalf of my 264 employees within my division. We will provide continuous updates on infrastructure development and moving forward. Thank you.
This is Facebook, right? Oh. Good afternoon, Yat. This is Michael Anderson. I'm the Executive Division Director for Public Safety for the Navajo Nation as appointed by Dr. Boo Van Nygren, our president. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Appreciate you tuning in to our broadcast today here and listening to our colleagues here. I think Shawnevan was just speaking and he's doing an awesome job with his division. So I want to say thank you to him and his crew. But also want to say, send out appreciation to all the members, supervisors, managers, and department heads from the different departments within the Division of Public Safety. And of course, the Division of Public Safety includes law enforcement, patrol services, criminal investigation, internal affairs as part of the police services that we have, as well as the Department of Corrections, our jail, juvenile, and adult facilities, the fire and rescue services, our firefighters, first responders, our EMS, our ambulance drivers, our EMTs, as well as the Department of Emergency Management for everything that they do to help protect us and provide first responder duties and responsibilities to the Navajo Nation for our constituency, as well as to the visitors traveling on or through the Navajo Nation. We appreciate your vigilance 24/7, wherever you're at across the broad Navajo Nation here on Chicago. I want to say thank you on behalf of the staff here at the Office of the President, as well as from the Administrative Office of the Division of Public Safety. So yeah, if you get a chance and you see some of these first responders, please reach out to them and say thank you for being out there and being available to provide us protection and being there when we're maybe not necessarily realize that, we're on our everyday lives. There's somebody out there taking care of us and being ready to respond, to assist us when we are in an emergency situation. So please reach out to them. And during these holiday seasons, want to wish everybody, hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, great Thanksgiving. We got the New Year's coming on. We want to make sure that you are prepared and ready for a safe and momentous holiday. We wish you well from the Division of Public Safety as well. I want to touch on bases on two recent promotions that I think are critical to the services provided by the Division of Public Safety. Number one, we selected a chief of our fire department, Captain John Williams, a 26-year veteran of the Navajo Nation who's been in multifaceted services related to first responders, including not only within the Navajo Nation, the fire rescue services, but the BIA, forestry, U.S. Forest Service, White Mountain Apache Fire and Rescue, and the MedStar ambulance. So he comes to serve the Navajo Nation with a wealth of background, and he's committed to serving the Navajo Nation with his confident leadership and foster growth and promote development within the department. I know that he just graduated three, if not four new recruits, if I remember correctly, that are here in the Fort Defiance, Wind Rock, Chinle, and Tuba City district. So he is, I met with him this morning. As a matter of fact, we talked about some new opportunities, provide services for the Western Agency, and I've given him some directive as to what we'd like to see within the Division of Public Safety for expansion of resources and services for the Navajo people. So again, congratulations to Fire Chief John Williams. We look forward to your continued service to the Navajo Nation in our fire and rescue departments. The second promotion that we had recently was Lieutenant Rory at City got promoted to the commander's position. He is now commander, and he's been reassigned for a period of anywhere from 6 to 2 years. 6 months. I'm sorry, 6 months to 2 years. So I've asked Commander Rory Trudy. He's actually a native of Bluff, Utah, and he has 19 years service with the Navajo Nation. He's worked in law enforcement. He's worked in the Department of Corrections. He's been stationed at the Shiprock Police District. He's always been driven by commitment to excellence. So I think Rory, with his participation in specialized programs like the SWAT, Motorcycle Operations, Swiftwater Rescue, and Community Resource Unit, he's going to use his experience and knowledge as a general instructor, field training officer, and use that leadership to help promote the ideals and reorganize the Department of Emergency Management. I had a meeting with him this morning also. I know that he just went through some interviews to select a new coordinator. I've given him a directive to increase the Department of Emergency Management from a staff of 2 to at least 10 people. He's actually set a goal of 12 people. So hopefully we see that happen. We hope to see that happen within the next few months. I know he's in preparation for emergency services, as we unfortunately have to experience. That not only includes snow emergencies, flood emergencies generally, and even heat emergencies that we experience on Navajo. And so his staff is working to not only increase the expertise within that department, but as well as increase the services and to be able to respond all across the Navajo Nation. So we're working fervently to accomplish that. So I look forward to seeing the use of Commander, his recent promotion from Lieutenant to Police Commander, and Delegated Emergency Management Director for now. So we look forward to these two gentlemen's continued leadership and service to the Division of Public Safety. Once again, I want to say thank you to all members of the Division of Public Safety and working together in a collaborative effort and teamwork of ultimately providing public safety. The Division of Public Safety, the key word I've asked my team within the division is to provide public safety to our people and to the visitors of the Navajo Nation. So again, I want to say thank you to each and every member of all the departments and of our division. I'd ask you to please, again, as we go into another holiday weekend, be prepared for travel, or whether you stay home or not. Make sure that you know where your family, your loved ones are at, where they're going. Make sure that they're prepared for any travels, any emergencies that should come up. Make sure you have a telephone number as to where you need to call in case you need emergency services. With that, I wish everyone from the office of the President and Vice President's office here, as well as the Division of Public Safety, I want to wish you all a happy new year and ask for your prayers to our members of our Division of Public Safety as we provide services to you 24/7. Thank you. Almost 2 minutes.
Yat a nana. Shaya Bobbie and Baldwin Dashijin. Nash as a touching in Swan 100 Bashishin, BP28 Dashay Auto Ashian Dashanella. I'm the Executive Director for the Veterans Administration, and I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. And I'm pleased to be here to provide an update to each of you tuning in today. First of all, I want to wish you all a happy new year with this upcoming weekend we have here, and I hope everyone has a safe weekend. Starting off, our housing list, our current housing list, our housing program for the Veterans Administration, we have a number of applicants who have been vetted and who have been approved for receiving the new construction of homes. And currently with our list ever growing as soon as veterans receive their home site leases, they are as follows. With Fort Defiance Agency, we have a need for 25 individuals who have been placed on the new housing construction list. Central Agency at 33 applicants. Western Agency at 31 applicants. Eastern Agency at 62 applicants, and Northern Agency at 27 applicants. We also are pleased to announce that we have hired a housing specialist for Western Agency, and she is Miss Joanne Sikoti. So if you need to get in contact with her to get more information regarding your application, any of you veterans in the Western Agency or family members for the veterans, please contact Miss Joanne Sikoti at the Western Agency office. Secondly is our Veterans Trust Fund. The Veterans Trust Fund is currently available. No agency has zeroed out any of their funding, and this funding is for veterans, surviving spouses, and Gold Star mothers. And what the financial assistance is for hardship, such as your expenses for rent or food, clothing, medicines, the items of those sorts. Also energy, which covers wood, coal, wood pellets, propane, utilities. But keep in mind, if you do elect to utilize your funding for propane or utilities, we do ask for a quote or a utility statement in your name, or in the veteran's name, or the applicant's name. And then we do have financial assistance for self-help, which is home improvement. So if your home needs a new window, a new door, chimney set, a new wood stove, a new refrigerator, we do have those services available for our veterans as well. So you can go to your local agency office and apply, and we'll be able to assist you with filling out the application, providing you with the policy and procedures tied to the type of funding and the way the funding should be utilized, as well as explaining any details or explaining any questions that you may have. So we look forward to having each of our veterans coming in and their families coming in. We welcome you to come into our office. The third thing is we also have the veteran services officers. We currently have 2 veteran services officers who are fully accredited, but we have an additional 7 staff who have recently received their accreditation and are working through the process of having the access to the New Mexico VA system so that we may tap into the VA, federal VA system so we can upload and extract information that is needed. With these 2 individuals, the first is Miss Sylvia Preston of the Central Agency. She does a wonderful job assisting many of our veterans in the Central, Western, and Fort Defiance agencies with helping them to obtain their federal VA benefits. We also have Miss Lori John for Eastern Agency, and she's been assisting Northern Agency, some of Fort Defiance Agency, and Eastern Agency entirely. These 2 women are very outstanding. For the months of October, November, and December, they have helped veterans receive more than $250,000 in back pay for their VA disability compensation. And this is an ongoing monthly compensation that each veteran is eligible to receive if they are deemed to be qualified based on their services and any injuries they may have sustained or aggravations they may have sustained while in service. And this monthly income from the federal VA is non-taxable, meaning you don't have to pay taxes at the end of the year. And it is all money that it goes towards the welfare for the veteran and their family, if their family is qualified with the veteran. So we encourage each of our veterans to come in and apply, speak to the VSOs, and they'll be able to help you fill out the documentation to get you qualified or to explain the processes or to help you gather documentation to ensure that you do meet the qualifications. We also have the VSOs helping the veterans to apply for what we call VA healthcare. VA healthcare is tied to the form 1010EZ, which is where veterans can apply for healthcare and be seen at the local hospitals, at the local clinics, the CBOCs, the VA hospitals, get their VA healthcare ID card, those important documents that are needed for our healthcare. Once we are able to get the veteran into the system for VA healthcare, a lot of items start moving rather fast for the veterans. And we would ask that many of our veterans please apply, please enroll into VA healthcare, because we do have our VA healthcare clinic coming, that is coming to the Chinle Comprehensive Healthcare Center. Next month will be the grand opening, and it's essentially similar to a CBOC. Many of us have been to the CBOC in Gallup or the local surrounding areas, and you'll be able to receive your healthcare there. There'll be a healthcare professional there for you. They'll be able to assist you, diagnose you, provide treatment to you. So that's at the Chinle Comprehensive Healthcare Center. VA Healthcare Clinic will be there, and we'll have care professionals there for each of you. So please partake in that. Enroll into VA healthcare. Go to the VA healthcare clinic at the Chinle Comprehensive Healthcare Center and be a part of that. Show our numbers that we do need these services here on Navajo. We do have the Vet Center for Counseling. Ms. Imelda James is your point of contact there, and each of our agency offices do have her contact phone number. Our veterans, I know it's the holiday season, and it can be tough for some of us, and we have our ideas and our ideals of places that we've been, things we've gone through, our comrades, our service members that we've served with, and the way that we wonder what they're doing, we wonder how they're doing, we wonder if things could have been different. So if these are some of the things that you have in your mind and you want to talk to someone, please reach out to Miss Imelda James from the Vet Center. She'll be more than happy to schedule you in or meet with you immediately to further discuss some of the things that we have going on regarding our mental health needs. We also have talking circles that we have initiated. Our second one will be coming up in January, as well as talking circles in the Central Agency office. Their talking circle is on a daily basis from 8 to 9 at their Central Agency office there. We invite the veterans to come in, have a cup of coffee, talk with your fellow veterans, share ideas, share positive information, share some of your stories with each other so that we can all help cope and get through our daily struggles with each other and provide that encouragement. It's a place to build camaraderie, morale, and our sense of family amongst our veterans. And we welcome each of you to our offices every morning from 8 to 9. We also want to wish our condolences to Commander Daniel Yaza and his family. Commander has passed on, and we give our sincere condolences to his family, as well as to our veteran, Sandoval Jesus from St. Michael's. We offer our condolences to his family as well. We appreciate your time, we appreciate your service, and we want to keep in our prayers all the service members who are currently serving overseas, stateside, and who are getting ready to leave for boot camp, basic training. We want to keep each and every one of those individuals in our prayers also. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Tico Charlee. I'm of the Sislani Patani to Tobaha Tarijini clan. I'm the executive director for the Navajo Nation Telecommunications Regulatory Commission. And just a quick update. A little bit earlier, I was talking with some people from FCC, the Federal Communication Commission group up in Washington. And we're kind of looking at all the satellites across the whole Navajo Nation. And one of my biggest concerns were the ACP, Affordable Connectivity Program. We talked about the satellite portion on there. They were really not being recognized as part of being the program. So we kind of pushed this issue for the last couple months. And lo and behold, they finally agreed, FCC, that the satellites will be able to use ACP on there for Starlink and Biosat. And it was a great success to hear that because the cost is very, some of the costs on are very extreme. So it kind of worried me about that. And we're still looking at some other stuff. We're working with the satellites on there and dealing with Starlink on there. One of the things that concerned me was what they call throttling, where you have limited access to data on there. And Starlink on there was doing that, so was Biosat. Most of the satellite companies were doing that. So we told them we can't be doing that, or we'll have to look at other means. So they're working with us on there. This is what Elon Musk had put up was, I believe, 40 more satellites that were supposed to go up to help offset that on there. But what surprised me the most was Biosat was working with Starlink on this to kind of make sure everything is working together in case one goes down, to have a reliable portion of using each other. And I thought that was great. But I told them I like to see it happen. This is one of our plan Bs we're using as far as using the ARPA programs and the funding sources that are out there. And from there's bigger opportunities that we're going across. As we're doing this, I just wanted to reach out to White Rock area. You finally got your tower out there. I made a promise, this was a while back, like maybe 10 years or so, to my late dad. That's where we're from up there. And he's always told me, I want to see a tower out here. Since he passed, I kept pushing it and pushing it. Hey, we finally got a tower. And from there, a lot of the relatives were calling. And I said, well, that's one of the initiatives we're pushing forward because they never had any big communications on there. And along that 371 route, there was a lot of, I guess, the emergency portion that was going on. So they'll be working with FirstNet, and they're working on that right now as we speak, fine-tuning that down. And most of the towers that were going up is here, even in Winter Rock Fairground. It's the true 5G that they're working on. They're fine-tuning that. And the Casimiro Lake area's got a tower up there. They're working on that also. And this is all Smith Bagley and Bukaibato, same thing. And Little Water chapter of all areas has got a tower there now. And they're supposed to let me know the outcome of when it's going to be completed. And there's still others that are out there in progress right now. We're trying to expand it even further because they're working with FirstNet on there for the first responders portion on there. We got now 147 towers that are out there with FirstNet on there for first responders, emergency groups, ambulances, fire engine, etc. So we have that out there and they're moving. So right now I'm working with, trying to work with Verizon, and we're going back and forth a little bit on there because I told them it's a big need out on the reservation right now. We got 5 towers that Verizon has already out there. So we're trying to expand a little bit further. And believe me, this year was a very quick year. I couldn't believe it's already end of the year. And looking back and reflecting a lot of things that have been moving forward, it moved very, very quickly. And this is one of the things we're working on. Plus, we had already given out a lot of the ARPA dollars to Smith Bagley, Sacred Wind, and also Communications on there. So they're using their money as quick as they can. And we do have a bi-weekly progress report to see where they're at and working with their project management team. So they're giving me dates on when they're going to try to complete all the projects as fast as they can. And we're trying to go spread it across the whole reservation on there. We're also working with N2A Wireless. They're just now looking at upgrading a lot of their stuff they have. So we're looking at that also. We're working with them on a timeline to get a lot of things done quickly. And things don't happen overnight, so understand that, but we're pushing as fast as we can to make things happen. And we want to see it out there. And I just like to see the people that has never had service have service out there. And I guess keeping an eye on all the service providers that are going on. We do have all the grants. I'm still working on the N2A portion under grants with CARES Act and defunded CARES Act, but we're asking a lot of the grant issues. The reason why I'm doing that is when we apply for certain funds within the states, first thing they look at is duplication, because you can't use a grant with the big money to go on top of another grant. So right now I'm arguing with them that, well, if they got the grant, they can't make these places on there, or they can't hook these people up. Why? So now we're going back and they're working with me on that. There's a funding that we had got that they're saying, no, that was waived. We agree with you, and that way we can start pushing more services out there to the area. And this is going to help also in the remotest areas. So the biggest thing that we're battling with right now is the checkerboard area, but we're overcoming a lot of things on there. The government type of relationship is really working for us now. So we want to make things happen quickly. And that's kind of a brief update of my report on there. And I hope everybody had a good Christmas, and please be safe during the New Year's on there. And I hope everything goes well with everyone on there. I just want to say thank you.
Don't you know that I love you? Don't you know that I want you? Hey, every day, sweet, beautiful you. Oh, my baby, you're the one I like to share this dance with, to the bitter end. I don't know why you get so mad and jealous sometimes. It took me a lifetime just to find you, babe. Well, I searched this world high and low till I found you, and now you're mine, sweet baby. Oh, can't you see, sweet perfect day. You're my beautiful night. You're the smile on my face, the tears in my eyes, the ache in my heart, every breath I take forever. Oh, baby, I'm yours, sweet, beautiful you. Don't you know that I love you? Don't you know that I want you? Hey, every day, sweet, beautiful you. Oh, my baby, you're the one that I like to share this dance with, to the bitter end. When our dance of life has come to an end, and God is calling for one of us, I'd like to die, baby, well, in your arms. And if God will allow, I'd like to wait till I saw your face, till I saw your smile, till I held you again into eternity. Sweet, beautiful you. Don't you know that I love you? Don't you know that I want you?